Afternoon, everyone. This is chapter 4E, which is area of a circle. Okay, so it would be useful if we had our sheet out, which I gave to people, so you can just copy down some formulas, or a formula when I start covering it. In regards to the other circles, I'll just need you to draw it in your book. Okay, so the goal is find the area of a circle given its radius or diameter using a calculator. This is main goal number one. Okay. Um, the second one is just finding the area of a circle when you're using approximations instead, okay, or using exact values. Okay, not really prominent because this test is calculator, but I do want to show you how to figure it out by hand regardless. And finding the area of semicircles or quadrants. Okay, another way of saying semicircle is a half circle, and another way of saying quadrant is a quarter circle. Okay, now we'll just go do it now. So, as you can see, you know what a circle looks like. Um, One thing you mainly need, you need to identify the radius. Okay, we only work with radius for this one. So, if you're ever given the diameter, to get the radius, you just divide the diameter by 2, okay? Now, this is the formula we use. A is equal to pi r squared. So, sorry, apologies. So squaring is really important. Squaring just means that you are multiplying by itself, okay? And another way of writing pi r squared is just pi times r, and that would be the main way as to how you'll be doing it. Now, hopefully, you won't use the times r much. I hope that you would just use r squared, okay? Um, your squaring button on your calculator is located right here. So it's this button right next to the number 7, which is highlighted in red right now. So if I just type in 2 squared, you know that 2 squared just means 2 times 2. And if you hit that, it just equals to the number 4, okay? So always use this button right here. Now, this second, or this third dot point here, find the radius whenever you're given the area of a circle. So let's just say like they give you the area already, yeah? So they give you some random number. That's the area of this circle here. That's the space that this circle covers, okay? And it's asking you to find the radius instead. Now, you are going to use this formula here. R is equal to square root A over pi. And that is how you would find the radius. Now, to do that on your calculator, oh, whoops. What I just explained to you earlier about the square button right here, to get the square root button, you have to press second and then that exact same button. That'll give you like this funny like tick that you have. And if I were to just put it in fraction form, let's just say my area is 20 centimeters squared. I'm just going to do 20 divided by pi and hit enter. That means my radius is 2.52 centimeters, okay? So if this space, for example, was 20 centimeters squared, my radius is actually 2.52, okay? So that's just all it is. So, like, you're just working backwards in a sense, but like, you'll cover that more in the exercises, okay? So, this is a semicircle, aka a half circle. Now, just remember our formula for a full circle is pi r squared, right? So this just technically means 1/2 times pi times r squared. Now, all I'm doing here is technically dividing this by 2. That's what the 1/2 is for. So if you just type out the area of a circle first and then you just divide it by 2 after. It just makes your life a lot easier. Okay, so just follow this formula here. Um, if you're if you find this more better, or you can use my original one up here. I'm just used to the first one, but I think for you all, it's best if you use the second one instead. Now, remember, when you type this in, make sure you find the area of circle first. Find area of full circle first, and divide by 2. Okay, and that is how you would find the area of a half circle. Okay, now over here is a quadrant, aka a quarter circle. So quad just means like in fours pretty much. So you can use second one, the second formula that I've written out instead. Just remember, find the area of a full circle first, then divide by 4. Now, it just depends on how many quadrants there are, but you can just have one of these little circles here where it's like just one quadrant, two quadrants, or three quadrants only. Okay. Now, just remember that this length here is the radius, and down here as well. Okay. So don't worry about it too much. I think you'll get used to it. So you should be a-okay. So let's just move on. All right. So I have my example here. It just says here correct to 2 decimal places. Just remember that. Now I have a full circle with 2 centimeters labeled here. Now, all this diagram is saying is the radius is 2 centimeters. Okay. And because the radius is all I need to find the area of a full circle, I can now substitute my 2 wherever R is located. So that's what I've done in my third line here. And on your calculator, you'll end up getting this answer here, 4 pi. Okay. Now, because we need decimals, you need to press that funny double arrow button just above the equal sign or the enter button, and it will just convert it to a decimal for you. Okay. Now, just remember we are rounding. So my second decimal place is where my first 6 is located with the arrow above. And then the one underlined in purple slash green right here, that's the digit that will determine whether we round up or down. So just remember rounding rules. Between 0 to 4, I round down. Between 5 to 9, I round up. Now, because the 6 is between the ranges of 5 to 9, I must round up. So the 6 where my purple arrow is located increases by 1. So the final answer is actually 12.57 centimeters squared. So don't forget to put in your units of measurements at the end, okay? Now, this is for you to try, but the solutions are up there. If you just want to have a look, just try it out yourself without looking at the answers too much, okay? Now, over here, I've just written like an extra example here. So I have a full circle, and I know the area of it is 35 meters squared. And the question just says find the radius, okay? So if you just refer back to this slide here, to find the radius, given the area of a circle, I'm using this formula here. R is equal to square root of A over pi, okay? So it's always best to start off by writing out the formula first and then substitute after, okay? So I substituted A is equal to 35. And if you just type this in your calculator, you'll get a number. And this is what your radius equals to, okay? So that's my radius of a circle in this case. So don't stress too much. Now over here, I think I'll just separate it like that. Okay, so for my first example here, I've got like a little quarter circle here with a radius of 3 meters. So I always start out by writing out the formula. And then I just substituted r equals 3 into my formula, type in the calculator, yada yada yada. My final answer just ends up being 7.07 meters squared. That's after correcting it. Now, in question 2, when you're given a half circle, the length that they normally give you is the diameter actually. But because we only want to work with radius, we need to find the radius. We need to convert the diameter to radius. So just remember, to do that, you must divide by 2. So 5 divided by 2 ends up being 2.5. Write out my general formula of my half circle, substitute my values in, type in the calculator, and I end up with 9.82 kilometers squared. Okay, so just try this out yourself. Um, I'll post the solutions in the next coming slides. Just give me a moment. Right, so these are the solutions for the activities. So for the half circle, you should end up with 56.55 kilometers squared. And for the quarter circle, you should end up with 38.48 centimeters squared. Okay. Now, oh yeah, that's it. Enjoy. Take care.